There's a lot of talk about how smart dogs are, but did you know that iguanas are just as smart? And not only that, they can even outsmart their human owners. That's right! These reptiles are so smart that they've been able to trick scientists into thinking they're mammals. Seriously, you gotta watch this. Iguanas have been observed using sticks and other objects to scratch themselves in much the same way a monkey would use a twig to scratch an itch. They also use sticks to test the water temperature before diving in and to gauge how deep the water is. If the stick hits the bottom, then it's safe to go in for a swim. But if the stick doesn't hit the bottom, then the iguana knows there's a big drop-off and will swim around to find another spot. These little reptiles are so smart that they're able to recognize themselves in the mirror. That's right, they're one of the few animals that can do that, and they're able to remember their own reflection for months at a time. This shows that they have a self-awareness that's more similar to humans than you might think. They're also really good at solving problems. Iguanas have been known to figure out how to open doors and cabinets in order to get food or get away from predators. In one study, researchers found that iguanas were able to learn how to open a door in as little as 10 minutes. And once they figured it out, they never forgot how to do it again. But it gets better. Iguanas are also really good at social intelligence. They can read human emotions and will act accordingly. For example, they know that when we're happy, we're more likely to give them food or pets. So they'll often befriend the person who feeds them in the hopes of getting more treats. And speaking of treats, iguanas are really good at remembering where their favorite foods are located. In one study, researchers found that iguanas were able to remember the location of a food source for up to 2 years. That's right, they have a memory that's just as good as a human child. All of this smarts makes iguanas really interesting pets, but do you won't get one unless you be prepared to give them the mental stimulation they need to thrive. Otherwise, they'll get bored and start chewing on your furniture. In fact, iguanas are so smart that they're actually used in scientific research to study animal intelligence. In one experiment, scientists wanted to see if iguanas could learn to recognize themselves in the mirror. To do this, they put a dot of red paint on the iguana's nose and then put them in front of a mirror. The iguana saw its reflection and was confused because it could unsee the red dot on its own nose. It took a few tries, but eventually the iguana realized that the red dot was on its reflection and not on itself. Once they realized this, the iguanas started to investigate their reflections further and even tried to touch their noses with their tongues. This showed that iguanas have a self-awareness that's more similar to humans than previously thought. So the next time you see an iguana, don't be fooled by its goofy-looking appearance. These reptiles are some of the smartest animals on the planet. Now check out this video over here, which is about how smart rats are. Rats are actually so smart that they can outsmart dogs. Or check out this video over here about a deer that outsmarted a whole pack of wolves. You've got this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.